Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us today. I am his beautiful wife and the brains behind, no, not the brains behind all of this, but I have been supporting Greg as he takes us through this crazy journey through COVID 19, really. Today, we are super honored to share some time with our friend Alicia, who used to work at NCPA and now she is a teacher working in Trieste, Italy. So, hi, Alicia. Thanks for joining
Hello,
us.
guys. Good seeing you.
Oh,
Good
it's
to see you
always
too.
good to see you.
Yeah.
All right, so Lisa, you are currently in Trieste, is that right?
Yes, I am here. Been here since August.
Okay.
Not in lockdown, but working here.
Well, okay, that's a good place to start, I think, because you weren't necessarily in Trieste when things started to go crazy in Italy, is that right?
Yes, I was. I was actually in. We were actually in our like ski week. That's what we call it here in our break. And I was in Venice, and then I went to Netherlands. And when I came back, that's when things got a little crazier here with lockdowns and things shutting down.
So the ski week we were talking about a little bit before we started recording here. That's a pretty big deal in Italy, right?
Yes, it's pretty much kind of like the spring break in other countries. Here, it's also called White Week, like in Italy,
Mm-hmm.
and it usually snows during this time of the year, so it's in February, and people go skiing, so it is a big deal around this area as well. So they give us a week for break.
Now, is that also the same week as Carnival in Venice?
Yes, it's I think it's at the same time or that it landed at the same time. So a lot of people were traveling to Venice and I was able to be there for the weekend that led to ski week. And I was there for one day and it was really, really crowded. People wear masks and they're like Victorian dresses and stuff like that. It's a pretty cool atmosphere. And then that night that I was there, so I spent the day on a Saturday. I went to Netherlands. I was there for a week, and when I came back from the Netherlands on Saturday, on Sunday morning, the government had said there's no school this week. They actually started with 3 days only, so no school Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then eventually they, because it was at the same time as Italian public schools had their break.
Mm.
So then they extended it the whole week, so nobody was going to be going to school. And it started with one week, and then it became a second week, and we have been like this since February, late February.
Okay.
So, how many weeks have you been teaching online? I don't know.
Seven, I
Five.
think seven. This is our seventh week. I think this is our seventh week. I have lost count, honestly.
So, what has life been like for you in this shutdown? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
So things started being like, for instance, like no school. So that's how it started. And eventually, they started closing regions. So I am in the Friuli Venezia Giulia region, and the region that is next to mine is the Veneto region, which is where Venice is. And then there's Lombardia, which is where Milan is. So they started closing Lombardia, Milan, Veneto, which were the two regions that were the most affected by it. And eventually it was the northern part of Italy, and then people started going to the south, and then eventually they closed the south as well. So people cannot travel from region to region. That was the first thing that happened, unless you were trying to go home. So because I'm from Mexico, the only way for me to go to Veneto, which is in Venice the airport, um, it was by showing that I was going to go back home to Mexico.
Mm.
So so then things were shut down, so no crossing borders. I have the border with Slovenia and the border with Croatia and Austria are really next to my area, so those countries started closing the borders as well, so there was no way people could go out. And then you had to have a permit which is this one, that tells people you have to tell your passport, your telephone, where are you living, where are you going, why are you going there, and so on. So there's also employers have to give a letter to their employees saying, yeah, you work for us, and that's why you're traveling from region to region. Except now that they closed it, people are not being able to go to their work if they were in a different region. And then public transportation started being very limited. There's some bus lines that are running still. We don't have a metro in our region or in our like city. Um, so bus lines are limited. And then restaurants are only for delivery. They're not for takeaway, or they're not serving people anymore. It started by, yeah, you can go get some food and stuff like that, but eventually things are closed now. The only things that are open are pharmacies, grocery stores. I think some banks are also closed, except they have like specific schedules that they're working on. Government offices are open, but I don't want to go there. So
Right.
yeah, that's how things have been so far. And schools, of course, are closed. We have been like this for 7 weeks. I think public schools closed a little different times, but they have been like us as well. Yeah. So everything is pretty much closed. I can go out. It's not a full quarantine like people like you guys like in China, but yeah, I've been at the beginning. I found an excuse to go grocery shopping every single day just to get out and not go crazy in my apartment. But now the things are way more serious than before. There's no point in me going out, so I only go out once a week, do my grocery shopping, and then stay here.
So you were talking about the form a little bit.
Yep.
So is that just for travel between regions, or do you need that for traveling around town as well?
I need it for traveling around town. There are 4 different areas here. I'm going to show you this one. There's 4 different little boxes that you can, sign. And one is that I am using this form to work, uh, essential situation, motive of health, or I am coming back to my apartment. So if I wanted to go grocery shopping, I would use one that says essential needs, and then I would have another one that says I'm going back to my home. Sorry?
You have 2 with you. One
So
to
you have to
there
have
and one to come home.
one to go and one to come back. Or a lot of people are using their dogs as excuses to go out. So I've seen the same dog being walked 5 times by different, members of the family. So yeah, those dogs are gonna be like very strong. So, but yes, this form is for that. And as I said, they ask you for your passport number, your telephone, your address. It's a very detailed form, and the thing is that it has been changed very often. So I think they have been changing this form for the past month for about 5 to 7 times already. They keep on adding things because people are trying to be smart about it. So they keep on adding restrictions to it. And now one of the restrictions that they have added now to the grocery shopping opportunity is that you have to wear a mask and you have to have disposable gloves. If you don't have any of those, you're not allowed to go in the grocery store. So one of my friends was not able to go grocery shopping until she got those things. So
How do you get them though if you can't go in without them?
yeah, that's the thing. I don't have a mask because they were supposed to give us 2 masks per person in Trieste, but they have not sent mine. So I have been using a scarf. You know, 21-degree weather. It's kind of hot. You wearing a scarf, but wear a scarf. And then I'm thinking the store where I went to, they had disposable gloves, so I use those. But if not, plastic bags.
Wow.
I guess that's gonna be the alternative.
Just to clarify for the American audience, that's 21 degrees Celsius. So
Celsius.
quite a bit
Celsius.
warmer than 21 degrees. If you
Yes, around 70 Fahrenheit.
Do you feel safe in Italy right now?
I do. Following the regulations that the government has put in place, like stay at home, wash your hands, use disposable things. Yes, I do. I do feel safe. One thing that I do that might be a little bit exaggerated, but it makes me feel safe, is I only have one outfit to go outside.
Mhm.
So I wear that. Once I come back in, I put it in the laundry and it washes the same day. I don't have shoes. I only use house shoes inside my house. I use tennis shoes to go outside and I leave them outside. So that also keeps me calm and yeah.
Okay. Well, I've been asking everybody sort of at the end of these videos, just sort of what you've learned from this experience or any reflections you might have based on your experience. Um, yeah, just anything that you kind of want to share or say here towards the end.
Just it's been a good opportunity to reconnect with friends and family that are apart. So I don't see you guys very often, but now with this, some good things come out of this quarantine or lockdown. So that, and a shout out to all doctors and nurses and people that are in the front lines and working towards flattening the curve and keeping us all safe.
Awesome. Do you want to do the exit? Gene?
Sure. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you dearly and good luck in week 7. Stay sane, stay safe, stay healthy, stay in,
Thank you guys.
and stay in touch.
Okay.
And safe.
All right. Bye, Lucia.
Bye.
Are you going to do the introduction?
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready?
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Is that what you want?
Is that the introduction?
No.